Welcome back to the channel, US Rare Coins News. Top 1. Today we are talking about a big, heavy dollar coin that most people completely ignore, even though some versions of it can surprise collectors in a big way. The 1978 D Eisenhower $1. It's huge, it feels important, and here's the shocker. Millions were made, yet certain examples quietly sell for far more than people expect. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes I'll show you exactly what this coin is, why 1978 matters so much, what tiny details collectors hunt for, and at the end, how much money this coin can really bring at auction when everything lines up just right. Let's start by putting this coin in your hand. Bring up a close-up shot as it rests on a table. This is not a small coin. It's thick, wide, and has real presence. On the front, you see Dwight D. Eisenhower, World War II hero and former US president. The portrait feels bold and confident, just like the era it represents. Below the date, you'll spot the D mint mark, telling us this coin was struck in Denver. Now slowly tilt the coin under the light. The surfaces catch reflections differently than modern dollars. That's because this coin is made of copper and nickel, not silver, even though it looks and feels valuable. Many people still assume all Eisenhower dollars are silver. That confusion alone has kept this coin interesting for decades. Flip it over and hold the shot steady. The reverse shows the famous eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch. This design was inspired by the Apollo space missions, making this coin a direct connection to America's space race. Earth floats quietly in the background. It's one of the most dramatic designs ever put on a US coin. Here's where 1978 becomes special. This was the final year the Eisenhower dollar was ever made. After this, the US moved on to smaller dollar coins. No more giant Ikes. That makes every 1978 issue the end of an era. Now for the part collectors really care about. While millions of 1978 D Eisenhower dollars were struck, most went straight into storage or light circulation. That means worn examples are common. But sharply struck, clean, high-grade coins are a different story. Zoom in on the lettering. Look at the sharpness of Eisenhower's hair. Check the eagle's feathers. This is where condition separates an ordinary coin from one collectors fight over, and then come the errors. This is the cliffhanger moment. Some 1978 D Ikes were struck off-center. Some show doubled lettering. Others have weak strikes or unusual surface issues from the minting process. These errors are not everywhere, but when they appear, collectors pay attention fast. Edge checks matter too. The reeded edge should be clean and even. Any strange gaps or irregularities can signal something unusual. Before we get to the prices, ask yourself this. Have you ever actually looked closely at an Eisenhower dollar, or did you just toss it in a drawer because it felt heavy and awkward? Now let's talk real value, no hype. A circulated 1978 D Eisenhower dollar usually sells for around $1 to $2. Clean uncirculated examples often sell for $3 to $5. High-grade certified coins have sold at auction for $10 to $30, depending on condition. Verified error coins can sell for much more, sometimes reaching into the hundreds of dollars when the error is dramatic and clearly documented. That's the reality. Most are common. A few are special. And the best ones stand out fast. So here's the big takeaway. The 1978 D Eisenhower $1 marks the end of a bold chapter in US coinage. It connects history, space exploration, and one of America's most respected leaders in a single, oversized coin. Top 2. Today we are talking about a coin that millions of people have held, spent, or saved, without realizing why collectors still stop and stare at it. The 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower $1. A coin with two dates, a completely different design, and a hidden story that makes some versions far more interesting than they look at first glance. Here's the surprise right away. This coin was made to celebrate America's 200th birthday, but some versions are far scarcer than people think, and a few details can turn an ordinary-looking dollar into a collector favorite. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which ones matter and what they're actually worth today. Let's put the coin on screen and slow things down. Bring up a clean close-up of the front. You still see Dwight D. Eisenhower, just like other Ike dollars, but look closely at the date. Instead of a single year, it reads 1776 to 1976. That instantly tells you this is no ordinary issue. It marks 200 years of American independence, all captured on one big, heavy coin. Now flip it over, because this is where everything changes. The usual moon landing eagle is gone. Instead, you see a colonial drummer boy standing strong, torch in hand, with 13 stars above. This reverse design was created especially for the Bicentennial, and it's one of the most iconic designs ever used on a US coin. Let the camera linger here. This image alone is why so many people saved these dollars. Here's something most people don't realize. These Bicentennial Eisenhower dollars were struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. And not all of them are the same. Philadelphia and Denver versions were made for circulation in copper-nickel clad. San Francisco, though, produced special collector versions, including coins struck in 40% silver. That's where the story starts to get interesting. Now let's zoom in on the lettering on the reverse. This is a quiet cliffhanger moment. There are 2 different types. Type 1 has thick, blocky lettering. Type 2 has thinner, sharper lettering that looks more refined. Type 2 is scarcer, and collectors always check for it first. Condition matters too. These coins are big, and big coins pick up marks easily. Finding one with clean fields, sharp details on Eisenhower's face, and a strong strike on the drummer boy is not easy. Then come the errors. Some Bicentennial Ikes show double details, especially on lettering. Others were struck off-center or have unusual surface issues from the minting process. These aren't common, but when they show up, they change the conversation fast. Pause for a second and think about this. How many people tossed these into drawers thinking they'd never be worth anything? Now let's talk real value, no exaggeration. Circulated copper-nickel Bicentennial Eisenhower dollars usually sell for $1 to $2. Clean uncirculated examples often sell for $3 to $5. Silver-clad versions from San Francisco typically sell from $10 to $20 depending on condition. High-grade certified coins, especially Type 2 reverses or silver issues, have sold at auction for several dozen dollars, and rare error coins can sell for significantly more. So here's the takeaway. The 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower $1 is more than a souvenir. It's a celebration coin, a design break from the norm, and a series full of small details that reward careful collectors. Top 3. Today we are talking about a dollar coin so big and heavy that the first time you hold it, you almost expect it to be worth more just because of how it feels. The United States of America 1974 Eisenhower $1. Here's the surprise. Most people think they already know this coin, yet a few versions quietly sell for far more than face value, and many owners never realize what they're holding. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes I'll show you what makes the 1974 Eisenhower dollar special, how to spot the versions collectors actually want, what kinds of errors change everything, and at the end, the real prices these coins bring at auction today. Let's put the coin on screen. A slow close-up as it rests in the palm of your hand. This is a serious piece of metal. Thick. Wide. Confident. On the front, you see Dwight D. Eisenhower, Supreme Allied Commander, War Hero, and President. The portrait feels strong, almost sculpted, and that fits the era perfectly. Now zoom in near the date. You'll see 1974, and depending on the coin, you might also see a mint mark. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark. Denver coins show a D, San Francisco coins show an S, and that letter matters more than most people think. Tilt the coin slightly under the light. You'll notice it has a silver look, but here's an important detail. Most 1974 Eisenhower dollars are not silver at all. They're made of copper and nickel. That misconception alone has fooled collectors and sellers for years. Now flip the coin over and let the camera linger. The reverse shows an eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch, with Earth floating in the background. This design was inspired by the Apollo space missions, making this coin a quiet tribute to one of humanity's greatest achievements. It's not just a dollar. It's a time capsule. Here's where the story gets interesting. While Philadelphia and Denver coins were struck for circulation, San Francisco produced special collector versions. Some 1974 D Eisenhower dollars were struck in 40% silver, mainly for collectors. These were never meant for everyday use, and that makes them far more desirable today, now for a small cliffhanger. Even among regular 1974 Ikes, condition is everything. These coins are large, and large coins pick up marks easily. Finding one with clean fields, sharp details in Eisenhower's hair, and strong feather definition on the eagle is much harder than it sounds, and then there are errors. This is where collectors really lean in. Some 1974 Eisenhower dollars were struck off-center. Some show doubled lettering or unusual die cracks. Others have weak strikes that make certain details look strange. These aren't common, but when they appear, they completely change the value conversation. Take a moment and ask yourself this. Have you ever actually looked closely at an Eisenhower dollar, or did you just assume it was ordinary and move on? Now let's talk real numbers, honestly. A circulated 1974 Eisenhower dollar usually sells for $1 to $2. Clean uncirculated examples often sell for $3 to $5. Silver-clad 1974 S coins typically sell in the range of $10 to $20 depending on condition. High-grade certified examples can sell for several dozen dollars. Verified and dramatic error coins have sold at auction for hundreds of dollars. That's the reality. Most are common. Some are collectible. A few are truly exciting finds. So here's the big takeaway. The 1974 Eisenhower $1 combines history, space exploration, and bold design into one oversized coin that many people still underestimate. Top 4. Today we are talking about a dollar coin that started an entire era, a coin so big and bold that when it first appeared, people didn't know what to think. The United States of America 1971 D Eisenhower $1. Here's the shocker. This coin was the first US dollar made after silver disappeared from circulation, and even though millions were minted, certain details can make collectors stop cold. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes I'll show you why the 1971 D Eisenhower dollar matters so much, what makes it different from later years, which details collectors hunt for, and at the end, what this coin is really worth today when it hits the market. Let's put the coin on screen and slow it down. A clean close-up as it rests in your hand. This coin is massive compared to modern dollars. Heavy. Wide. It feels like money is supposed to feel. On the front, you see Dwight D. Eisenhower, World War II hero and former president. The design is strong and direct, no fancy distractions, just authority. Now zoom in on the date. 1971, and just above the rim or below the neck, there it is. The D mint mark. That single letter tells you this coin was struck in Denver, and it also tells you something else important. This coin was made for circulation. It was meant to be used, not just collected. Tilt the coin under the light. It looks silver, but here's an important truth. The 1971 D Eisenhower dollar contains no silver at all. It's copper-nickel clad. That alone surprises a lot of people, especially those who assume all large dollar coins must be silver. Now flip it over and let the camera linger. The reverse shows the eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch, with Earth floating in the distance. This design was inspired by the Apollo 11 mission, and that connection to space history gives this coin a personality you don't see on modern money. Here's where the 1971 D becomes special. This was the very first year of the Eisenhower dollar series. The US hadn't issued a circulating dollar coin this large since the 1930s. Expectations were high, and the mint rushed production. That rush shows up in the details. Zoom in on the eagle. Early 1971 reverses are often called the friendly eagle design because of the softer, rounder look compared to later years. Collectors love these subtle differences. They're small, but once you see them, you can't unsee them. Now comes the cliffhanger moment. Because this was a first-year issue, quality control wasn't perfect. Some 1971 D Eisenhower dollars show weak strikes. Others have doubled lettering, die cracks, or off-center strikes. These errors aren't everywhere, but when they appear, collectors take notice fast. Condition is everything. These coins are big, and big coins get scratched easily. Finding a 1971 D with clean fields, sharp hair detail on Eisenhower, and strong feather definition on the eagle is harder than most people expect. Pause for a second and think about this. How many Eisenhower dollars have been sitting in drawers for decades without anyone really looking at them? Now let's talk real market value, honestly. A circulated 1971 D Eisenhower dollar usually sells for $1 to $2. Clean uncirculated examples often sell for $3 to $5. High-grade certified coins have sold at auction for $20 to $40 depending on condition. Verified and dramatic error coins can sell for significantly more, sometimes reaching into the hundreds when the error is clear and desirable. That's the reality. Most are common. Some are collectible. A few are genuinely exciting finds. So here's the takeaway. The 1971 D Eisenhower $1 isn't just another big coin. It marks a turning point in U.S. coinage, blending presidential history with the space age in a single design. Top 5. Today we are talking about a dollar coin that looks ordinary at first glance, feels heavy in the hand, and yet hides a few surprises that most people completely miss. The United States of America 1977 D Eisenhower $1. Here's the shock right away. This coin was made just 1 year before the Eisenhower dollar disappeared forever, and some examples quietly stand out far more than anyone expects. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes I'll show you why the 1977 D matters, what makes it different from earlier Ikes, which small details collectors search for, and at the end, how much this coin actually sells for when condition and errors line up just right. Let's put the coin on screen. A slow close-up as it rests in your palm. This thing is big. Thick. Solid. It feels like a real dollar should feel. On the front, you see Dwight D. Eisenhower, one of the most respected figures in American history. The portrait is bold, calm, and confident. Under the date, there it is. The D mint mark. That single letter tells you this coin was struck in Denver. Now tilt the coin under the light. A lot of people assume this shine means silver. It doesn't. The 1977 D Eisenhower dollar is made of copper and nickel. No silver content at all. That misunderstanding alone has caused years of confusion among collectors and sellers. Flip the coin over and let the camera hold steady. The reverse shows the eagle landing on the moon, olive branch in its claws, Earth floating in the background. This design was inspired by the Apollo space program, and even in 1977, it still felt modern and powerful. It's one of the few U.S. coin designs that directly connects money to space exploration. Here's where the 1977 D becomes interesting. By this point, Eisenhower dollars weren't being used much in everyday life. People found them bulky. Vending machines didn't like them. Banks ordered fewer. That means many coins were stored instead of circulated, but it also means strike quality varied. Zoom in on Eisenhower's hair and cheek. Then move to the eagle's feathers. This is where collectors separate average coins from desirable ones. Sharp details matter. Clean fields matter even more. Now comes the cliffhanger moment. Errors. Some 1977 D Eisenhower dollars were struck off-center. Others showed doubled lettering, die cracks, or weak strikes that make parts of the design look unusual. These aren't common, but when they appear, collectors notice immediately. Because this was a late series year, error coins stand out even more. Check the edge too. It should be evenly readed. Any odd gaps or distortions can signal something unusual. Pause and think about this. How many Eisenhower dollars are sitting in drawers right now, never checked, never really looked at? Now let's talk real market value, clearly and honestly. A circulated 1977 D Eisenhower dollar usually sells for $1 to $2. Clean uncirculated examples often sell for $3 to $5. High-grade certified coins have sold at auction for $10 to $30, depending on condition. Verified and dramatic error coins have sold for much more, sometimes reaching into the hundreds of dollars when the error is clear and desirable. That's the reality. Most are common. Some are collectible. A few are surprisingly special. So here's the big takeaway. The 1977 D Eisenhower $1 represents the final stretch of a bold experiment in American coinage. Big size, big history, and small details that can make a big difference. Now I want to hear from you. Do you own a 1977 Eisenhower dollar, and have you ever checked it closely? And which US dollar coin would you love to add to your collection next? If you enjoyed this story and want more videos that help you spot hidden value in everyday coins, hit like, subscribe, and watch the next video. Because sometimes the coins we overlook are the ones with the best stories waiting to be told.